business, biceps, a little BS. Fitness mixed with finance, now you're really gonna see us as we're learning, growing. All your minds we're blowing, earning while we're burning. Shirts are tight, so games are showing. Resolve, evolve, absolve, it's time to make a move. Better check yourself, cause if you're doubting, no, we got the proof. Voices speaking loud, cause we're proud about what we can do. Tickling your ears with CPE, rooted in the truth.
In the wildwood of accounting, we all know garbage data in means garbage data out. The same thing applies to your body. As a C-suite guy who obviously lifts, I want to be just as sharp in the boardroom as I am in the weight room. I don't have time for guesswork supplements or flashy nonsense, and that's why I use Redcon One. Clean ingredients, real formulas, stuff that actually works when you're training at 5 a.m. at the gym or burning midnight oil in your month-end grind. So whether you're an accounting bro, finance bro, or business leader in an NGO, if you want more energy, better recovery, and fewer excuses, this is your sign. Head to redcon1.com and use promo code BIZBUYSANDBS for 20% off. Don't just audit your numbers, audit your nutrition by leaning into America's favorite supplements at Redcon One. Yeah. So we are live, we are active, you are on Business, Biceps, and BS. I knew you'd do that.
I'm doing myself this afternoon. Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
Hey man, here it is. If you don't need a cup of coffee, you got Tim Naddy in your life.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go, man.
I think the way we need to start this is, first of all, I need to say your name correctly. So would you mind at least just pronouncing your name so I don't get it wrong?
You do say it correctly. That's what's kind of funny.
Maina. Maina.
Okay. Yes.
Is it Maina?
Yeah.
The A is silent.
The A is, you know what someone said to me yesterday, and they said, oh, just cross out the A. I said, yes.
Okay. Maina Mwaura.
Yeah, they actually called it right. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Cross out the A.
And Maina Mwaura is well, you're my Hollywood friend.
Yes.
That's pretty much like when everybody asks, like, what does he do? I was like, dude, everybody knows this guy. I don't know how everybody knows him, but he is connected to literally everybody that is somebody.
No, I really don't. I don't know what I do for a living. But I get up every day and try to just act like I do. No joking. But yes, yeah.
Well, I'm curious because so break it down for me. Just give me a real quick bio because I want people to know who you are. Because one, you're I think personally that you are one of Georgia's hidden talents, and the fact that you move in the circles that you do, and nobody knows who you are, but everybody knows who you are. It's like you live in this dichotomous world that you are so well connected. You would never know it just by talking to you.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, here I'm going here. I'm going here. I'm going to be with this person. Like, what is going on? And the great thing is, if I were to ask them if they know who you are, it's like, oh, Maina? Yeah, he's my guy. Like, what in the world? How is it that you are in everybody's Rolodex?
It's weird. I don't think I'm everybody's Rolodex, but it's weird because I just like to connect people. And so, and I finally heard someone this other day. I finally heard someone say this today, Tim, and it really was kind of like, I really like this. They were talking about how they're a connector too. And I think whether you're a CPA or whether you're a janitor, if you know how to connect people well, man, I think that is the future. And I really do. I mean, I think oftentimes we think, well, if I have a lot of money, then you know what, that's the ultimate goal. And we know that money is important. Don't get me wrong, Tim, on this one. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I really think in a world of artificial intelligence, man, I really do believe this in a world like this, you're going to have to know how to connect with people more than ever, because you're going to have to actually look at yourself and say to yourself, man, is this real, man?
It's true. I mean,
and that's going to get harder, Tim, around here, dude. I don't have a soapbox altogether, and I won't. But
no, you should. This is why I have you on the show, to get on the soapbox. In fact, if I could just call it Maina's Soapbox, this is your episode, and I want you to get on that soapbox because you have such interesting things. You have interesting perspectives.
I've been waiting for this all year.
Here it is.
Here we go.
This is not about me. It's about you.
So we can connect well, and you do that well too, Tim. Then, man, going to that next level, whatever it is for someone, and I think each person is different, obviously. It's just, I think it's going to be possible. I really do, man.
Well, so in the show notes that I gave you, by the way, do you like how ChatGPT rolls you out in your show notes? Did you take a look at it?
I did not get any show notes, dude.
Yeah, I have. I'm looking at them right here. So maybe it got sent to the other invite to this show. But anyway, so it says that you're a professional speaker, a storyteller, and an author whose work centers on resilience, identity, and transformation. So that's what ChatGPT says you're all about. And so, but the thing I want to hone in today on is your proclivity to telling great stories, finding those stories, unpacking the personalities in the momentum behind these stories, and then putting them on pedestals. That's the wrong word, but putting them on a platform that people can enjoy them, can ingest them, to just enrich their lives. That seems to be where you are, and I think that's the reason why you resonate so well with a whole bunch of with all different types of people, is that you are constantly telling stories that lift people up. So I'm excited about it because in a world of the accounting world, in the world of accounting, we have what, CPAs, we got the accountants, we got some finance folks. We are just workers, head down, go, grind, right? And somewhere along the line, we lose our joy, and from just working so hard, just like, what are we running after? And finally, we'll stop and we'll pick up our heads, we'll look around, and it's like, there's nobody running with us anymore. It's like, where are we? What is going on? And so we kind of have to find and repurpose ourselves to say, hey, why did we get into this profession in the first place? What is it about this profession that fired me up, that got me so passionate to begin with? And now that I'm in it for 15, 20, 25 years, why all of a sudden do I feel like it's not feeding me anymore? I think you know the answers to these things, and so this is what we're going to talk about today. This is a spiritual episode of Business Biceps and BS, because I think that there's the physical side, there's the mental side, but there's the spirit side, the soul side of it, that I think a lot of us kind of lose it when we're grinding so much to basically earn that check so we can get to the next level and level up in life, if you will.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, Tim, I mean, there has been a lot of changes. Let's just kind of be fair. You know, the last 5-6 years have not been kind to us, man, if we were to really put into perspective. And so when there's a lot of changes going on, I think people can kind of say to themselves, this is what I can control, which you really can't control anything, by the way. And I'm going to, put my head down and dig in and get work done. And we want people to get work done. We really do. But at the same time, I also do believe that you got to look around you, man, because there are so many stories and people who are all around you who you need to know. And I'm going to say this to you. I can't tell you how many times, man, I've had to connect with someone that has gotten me something, or that's helped me, or that's actually saved someone's life at times by not connecting well. And so when there are those moments I just don't want to do it, I really just kind of go, okay, why do I need to do this anyway, man? I mean, because when you're willing to do it anyway, you never know like what may happen. For example, Tim, how you and I became friends, man.
Right.
It became through, I think he'd be okay to share the story.
Yeah, sure.
It came through someone who gave me a call, who leaned in and said, hey, I'm looking for this kind of work, Maina. And at first I thought, I don't know anything, it's probably not, I mean, like I like Larry, obviously, but I thought, I don't think I have anything, man. So I kind of just wrote it off, man, at first. And then, sure enough, a couple of days later, someone called me up and said, hey, I need a writer. And Larry's a great writer, obviously.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I think I know a guy. And then, Tim, by a series of circumstances we won't go into today, it was one of those things where he and I were on the phone, and he said, you know what, Maina, Now, here's what he did not know at the time. This is where this gets funny.
Yeah.
A month prior, I was sitting at a restaurant at a place in Truist Park, and this team was crowding out my space. And they're called Savannah Bananas. And Tim, this is another piece I think that we don't think of also.
We're locusts. When we come to town, we're locusts.
Yeah, you're definitely locusts, all right. You guys were all over everywhere. And I remember thinking, how am I going to get out of here? Well, people don't think about also, I wish more people would do this, man. In your mundane world, be curious as you can, man. And so to rewind here a little bit, I'm sitting in Truist Park, and I'm seeing all these yellow, T-shirts walking around everywhere, and these people who look crazy walking around, but they're having a good time, man. And what I realized, Tim, was I remember saying to myself then, I don't know anybody who's a part of that organization, but I sure do want to. I mean, it was and I remember getting on my phone, Tim, going, who is Savannah Bananas? Like, I didn't know. I was the only person in America who had never heard of them before, obviously. and I'm looking at who they are, and I'm going, what a great group of people. Like, I really want to get to know who they are, man. And sure enough, I'm talking to Larry, and Larry goes, I got someone who I want you to meet. And I go, well, who is that, man? He goes, this guy named Tim Naddy from the Savannah Bananas. And Tim, I said, you know what, Larry? That sounds good, because I was just sitting in a stadium recently, and they took over the stadium, man. 2 days later, man, I'm getting ready to go to bed one night, and guess who comes on TV on a credit union commercial? Tim Naddy. And I am going, the power of curiosity always leads to great stories. No, it really does. And so I think it's kind of those things where if you want a great story, be curious.
I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that that's actually a bank. Credit unions and banks are different. And so because the United Community is our bank, I'm just going to go on record and say
it's not a credit union. I don't know where I got credit union from. I don't know where I got credit union from.
It's on your mind, man. It's on your mind.
Worlds all together there.
I appreciate the story because it's one of those things where, and I'm not going to lie, I think that being in the position that I am with the Savannah Bananas and being on the business side, not necessarily the player or the coach side, but being on the business side, it's granted me a lot of really interesting opportunities to just go out and just talk about what is fans first, what does it really mean to really practice the golden rule, the second commandment, and really put yourself out there for other people. And because the entire entity is formed on the basis of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, because every show is somebody's first show. How can we plus this experience so that everybody who's here, whether you've seen them once or 40 times, how can we plus it to where you felt like that was a unique experience? And you're going to go tell your friends, like you did the last 39 times you went, that, oh my gosh, this show keeps getting better. I can't believe it.
But Tim, I would say this though, man. Sorry to cut you off. I would say too, though. I think a lot of times people who are in the business CPA field may think, and I hope they don't, if they're out there, they think, well, my job is just to do numbers. No, that is not true, man. The truth of the matter is that if they're not doing the numbers, then, for example, Savannah Bananas don't get to go out and do shows.
100%. Yeah, everywhere you go, man, you have that finance function is absolutely critical, and that's what I try to remind my colleagues is that, hey guys, listen. I get it that you might look around and be like, hey, what am I doing this for? It's like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't. Is this the trajectory? Did I really want to be an accountant when I was growing up? Like people kind of, they start looking inward and saying, I don't know, there's something weird about this. This isn't the trajectory I thought my life was going to take. I thought I was going to be a professional baseball player. I thought I was going to be a professional this, that, and the other, right? I thought I wanted to be a cowboy. But now you're in this 9-to-5 job, and you're doing accounting, you're doing finance. I don't think what people realize is that function is so vital to every single organization that's out there, that if it wasn't there,
you would miss it. You wouldn't have
an economy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the accounting and finance people that keep this thing running. We translate what's happening in the numbers to everybody else out there.
And that's why it's so important, Tim. So people are telling me that they are creatives, and I work with a lot of them, and I'm glad
Bless
that
you.
they are. I really am. But I got to say, though, the business side is important. I was talking to a singer recently named Amy Grant. You may know who she is.
Wonderful
She's
woman.
deal for your audience who may not know. And she and I were talking, and I just said, Amy, how have you stayed in this for so long? And I'm thinking, Tim, that she's going to say, I train my voice, or I get up and look at songs every day. I don't know what else. I was thinking something creative, I guess. And you know what she said to me? She said, mine, it really comes down to one thing. And I said, what? She goes, management. Management. And what your audience is doing is they are managing people's livelihoods. They are managing people's careers. They are managing and I'm going to say this, Tim, and it may not go very well, but it does. They are managing, even sometimes, keeping people out of jail, man.
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where
I have stories.
I have stories too. I mean, I'm thinking of one in particular today where someone I'm thinking of, I won't say the company's name, but the leader who I have interviewed before, literally, the feds are about to come in, Tim.
Oh man!
And it's because the accounting principles have been terrible. The CPA has been awful, Tim, and they've had a great party, literally, and the product is even good. Product's great, in fact. But man, bad business skills, will land you in hot water.
Fast and loose, man. You got to be careful.
And so, what your audience does, I just want to be clear on this, is that it's such a vital need to who we are. So they're not just a CPA. They're not just an accountant. They're not just, and you fill in the blank. So whenever I hear someone say, I heard this Monday night, I was out somewhere, and the person was an accountant, by the way. And he goes, and he was with the famous person he was with, and our influence person he was with. He goes, I'm just an accountant for, and he named the company. And I said, no, you're not just an accountant. You are the accountant, man. I mean,
yeah.
And so that is, and I hate to say this, Tim. I do want to say this. Part of being a great storyteller is knowing your part in the story, man. And oftentimes, as an executive producer, I'm not in the story.
Yeah. You don't want to be the story, right?
I don't want to be the story either. And if I do land in the story, we've had a pretty bad day. All right. And it was really hard for me, though, Tim, 3 years ago when I moved from primarily being a journalist and writing stories to, and even as a journalist, you should not be in the story either. I think that's part of our problem in the journalism world, but too many of them are in the story.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be in the story, by the way. And so, but it's one of those things when you're not in the story, man, you can sometimes feel like, what am I doing with myself, man? I mean, and it's one of those deals where, when you're outside of the story, you are part of the story. You're just not in the story, man.
Yeah, I think that something that makes you very unique is that because of your background, you've been able to have many conversations across the spectrum, and some very lighthearted types of arrangements, but also some very deeper and more intimate settings too, and so that kind of gives you a really interesting perspective of how to manage adversity. So I'm curious, when you look at what you've been able to accomplish, and not just your writing and your presenting, but now with your current media platform that you assist in your executive producing, I mean, you're telling stories. You're telling great stories. You're letting people tell the story, and you give them a platform upon which they can tell. But how do you feel like is the best way to communicate that those stories, so that if you do run into adversity, that you can tackle it in a wise manner?
Yeah, the best companies, I think, and Strand Banana is one of those. The best CPA folks, the best accountants, are people, Tim, who serve their customer well. Bottom line. And so if you can serve people well, as you guys do, as family and as what you do as a person yourself, if you can do that well, then you're going to go far. I really do believe that. And so the minute that I can't serve the storyteller well, I probably need to go find and go do something else, man, or get recharged. Because not every day is going to be it's going to be a great day. I love to tell people this. Not every day is going to be a great day. But if you are looking at the clock on Wednesday, going, I cannot wait until Friday gets here every week, you made me in the wrong story. So it's one of those things where I love to tell folks, if you can serve people well and hear their story, you're going to do great, man. I mean, everyone has one. Everyone has.
They do. A few people are better at telling the story than others, but you can still everybody does have a story, and I think that's what's really fascinating, just about the human experience. And how we go through life. We bump into certain people come in and out of our lives. It's kind of been a theme today with the different conversations that I've had. It always comes back to curiosity and treating people the way they need to be treated, right?
Yeah.
And what I think is fascinating is that it keeps getting reinforced that in order for us to be the best version of ourselves, we need to stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about other people.
Yeah, Tim, I look at what you guys do in other companies as well, which I won't name on here, obviously. I got a cool story to tell you. If you're okay with me telling you the story.
Yeah.
And this happened. I was at Hobby Lobby on a Thursday, and then the next day I flew back in, and I had to be at Chick-fil-A, man, headquarters here down south in Atlanta, where I live. And it's one of those things, Tim. I get out of my car. First of all, I drive into the Chick-fil-A headquarter, complex there. Everybody's ever been there before. And there's no parking spaces, man. So I'm just like, the campus is full this day. And I'm tired. And so when I'm tired and campus is full, that's never usually a good thing, Tim. So I'm driving up to their parking garage, and I'm on the 6th, 7th floor, however high it was. And I am like grumpy. I'm just, I just got back from Hobby Lobby. They were great. And I'm just not having a good Thursday, I think it was that, or a good Tuesday, if it was that day. And so I get out of the car to go meet the person I'm going to be meeting with at Chick-fil-A. And I say to my wife, I'm on the phone with my wife at this point in time, and I say, I bet you Dan Cathy's having to park up here on this floor. I'm sure he's down front there. I'm sure I saw those corporate cars down front.
Man, you were having a day.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not having to do this all day. I'm just like grumpy. And by the way, I'm getting a free lunch there. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? So I get done, man. I tell my buddy, goodbye. I'm going up the stairs, man. Where's the elevator? I'm going up the elevator. And as soon as the door opens, there's Dan Cathy. Like, he's on the 6th or 7th floor of the parking garage.
Yeah.
And I go, what are you doing here? And in the back of my mind, Tim, I'm literally going, did my wife call them and tell them? That's not possible. And here he is, and he literally says to me these two things. He goes, oh, it was crowded down front. I'm parking here. And I'm like, yeah, it's not, yeah, but you own the place. Like, this is you. And so I just go, yeah. He goes, hey, you know what? I just came back from my honey farm. Do you want some honey? And he literally takes out this jar of honey out of his box. And I go, can I walk with you downstairs to my buddy who I'm going to have lunch with? Because he is not going to believe this story. And it was one of those things where it taught me a valuable lesson that day, Tim. Taught me this. Yes, you can own the company. You can own the business. But, man, if you're not a servant leader, it's going to show up in little things like where you park, man. I mean, because truthfully, Dan Cathy could have literally said, I want to park up front here in the fire hydrant lane, honestly. And no one would have said a word because he's the owner, man. But no, here he was on the 6th or 7th floor of the parking garage on a rainy Tuesday afternoon, man. And that to me just taught me a valuable lesson to, be okay not being the spotlight, and also be okay if you got to park further out than your guests do, man.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So it was a powerful story to me that day, and it was one that I'll probably never forget. Where I'll just go, man, are you serving others well? And every time I'm in Savannah with you guys, man, every time I'm around you, Tim, in fact, you're always serving the people who I'm with well, man.
They're your guests, and if they're your guests, then they're my guests, right? And so
No,
you can always extend the yellow carpet, right?
In a world where people don't think that, unfortunately, like they used to, when we were with you back in December, I had some guests. You're bringing thank you gifts for them, and I'm going, well, no, Tim, like we're here to interview you. I don't think we got you a gift.
Oh, believe me, I've marked it down.
yeah, you can mark that down. But by the way, I think we gave you a gift. But thank you for your gift, though. But can you serve people well, man? I mean,
thank you.
And that's part of the story.
So I'm curious because you're in a position now, and I think you stated earlier that you've been in this position for about 3 years. You're an executive producer on a platform where you're out there you're helping people tell their stories, and now it has a very Christian element to it. But that's probably not the only thing you're doing. But can you give me some, if you're comfortable enough talking about it, I would love to talk a little, unpack Right Now Media and what do you guys. I know why you guys exist, but I want our listeners to know this because there's an element that I think is missing inside corporate America, and I think it's fading. That's the issue. I think that's the word I want to say. It's not missing, it's fading, and that is the element of I don't want to use spirituality. I want to use religiosity because those are the right words.
Yeah.
It's the faith element that everybody's so concerned about the separation of church and state and all these other take some legalism and throw it down my throat. But I think what's happening is that there's been these small revivals inside the corporate world where people are finally realizing that, oh, I really do need to practice this servant leadership. I really do need to treat the customers better than I treat myself. I really need to treat them like I would want myself to be treated. And I think what's happening is you're starting to see people start shifting around saying, hey, it's great that you have a great product. It's great that you have a great service. But what's resonating with people is how they feel respected and how they feel, dare I say, loved by the organization. And so like there was somebody who had asked about like what do you think the magic is at the Savannah Bananas? And I said honestly, this is going to sound as corny as it gets. I said I honestly feel the reason why people come back and really want to be a part of this organization is because when they are within our walls and they are within shouting distance of whatever we're doing, I said I honestly feel like they feel loved. Like they feel like the person next to them who's having just as great a time as they are, that they're their brother, they're their sister, and everybody can test. I kind of equate it to when you show up, you're excited, you want to be goofy, but then every once in a while, it's like, oh, I'm the cool guy, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to get goofy in front of people. And then you just can't stand it. It's like the silliness is going on around you. People are having so much fun. It's like, okay, I'm gonna let my hair down. And all of a sudden you're jumping, you're dancing, you're doing all this stuff. I equate it to the time if you have brothers and sisters or a family, during the holidays, you get into the living room and that's where all the goofiness ensues. Like right after dinner, the TV's off, you're just kind of laughing, you're being goofy. It feels like that kind of family vibe where, it doesn't matter where the bananas go, that follows them. It draws people in because they all have heard about this. And there's a show to be had, but that's not the reason why people are coming back. They go for the show, but the reason why they want to stick around is because like, what is different about this organization that makes me want to be not only a part of it, but to tell all my friends about it? And I truly think that there's a respect level there. Don't get me wrong, but I truly feel like it's that 4-letter word. I think people feel loved.
Yeah, and you can't fake it. You can't fake chemistry. You can't fake love. If that makes sense. I mean, you can try to fake it, and I think we've seen people who try to do a good job, but the real you's going to eventually come out here.
Yeah.
it's one of those things, Tim. And there's okay, I love these stories, so forgive me for telling these different stories, Tim, but
I love the stories. Go.
you do what I do with, interviewing people and doing this.
Mhm.
I'm not name dropping. I'm really telling stories about people I get the privilege of just working with.
I brought you on this platform so you could name drop. Go.
Say, I was in Martha's Vineyard this summer with the founder of Dunkin' Donuts, and
Cool.
was really cool because and I was really just there, Tim. Although Robert and I have been friends for a long time, but I was really there because for the first time ever, like I wanted to know how does their branding work, man? Like you can't go anywhere without seeing them, man. So,
By the way, as a point of reference, as one of our partners, their name is actually Dunkin'. They dropped the donuts.
They dunked the donuts, yes. So,
hey, I got to get out there and put it out there.
don't tell Robert that I said that, by the way. And I can tell you a story of how they dropped.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
By the way, I would tell you that story real quick. I'll get to the other one. The donut piece. They basically, I don't know if I should tell the story now. I want to share it. And
now you have to tell it.
We're already on this road now. I don't know if you share this or not. We're already on this
Rabbit
road.
trail. Here we go.
So here we go. It's like, Robert, thanks, man. Please forgive me. The donut piece, okay, you remember growing up as a kid, they used to make the donuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually they retired the donut guy, man. If you remember,
Okay.
like they retired him. And Larry Bird came on to be a part of the retirement package. Man.
Wait, Larry Bird, the Celtic.
The Celtics, yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
They brought him on to be a part of it. And so that's when they basically said, and it took many years after that to go, we're just going to be Dunkin', man. So I don't know if that story's legitimate to tell or not, but it really kind of starts off with the killing off. No, sorry.
Time to
It's not the killing off. I don't even want to it's not the killing off. The retiring.
I like where this is going. Yes. Did we just break news? We just broke news.
Here
I'm
we
get Robert
go.
on the phone. I need to get his comments.
Here we go. So like I can see lawsuit in the mail now. So Tim, I'm in Martha's Vineyard this summer, and Robert Rosenberg and I were there, and he said a word that stuck with me since June of last year. Man.
Okay.
And it is this. It is backstory, man. There's always a backstory to the front story, man. And oftentimes we kind of forget our backstory. And I want people to really kind of lean into their backstory, because if you can lean into your backstory, the truth of the matter is it will energize you to do what you do today, man, because your backstory is very, very important. And so the backstory of Right Now Media, Tim, is this, man. I had no desire to do it. I was one of those things where I tried for years to get connected with them. And I started doing all of this, by the way, 9 years ago, and I'm telling more of the story than what your people probably care to know. But I'm not 9.5 years ago. I'm in an office cubicle and I get fired. And in fact, it was one of those things where it really did take me by surprise.
Oh, no.
Some people, they're not by surprise, but I was surprised. Like, I was coming in ready to do a week's worth of work, and they were not. So it was like, and it really was some people laugh at this, but it really was your services are no longer needed here.
Wow.
And I thought, I really thought that day, Tim, that I was a failure, to say the least, dude. And I really thought, Tim, and so I don't know, I'm telling the story, but somebody maybe in this position now, I really thought that my career was over.
Wow.
And the truth of the matter was, it was over the way that God saw it to be over, man. And so that career ends, man. And I'm stuck with, what do I do now, man? And I was literally just kind of leaning into, for the month of that month that I got fired, just going, I don't know what to do. It was probably the scariest time in my life.
Okay.
So up until that point, everything had kind of done this. And so it was really man, I'm just moving on up, man. And I just thought, I don't know what I'm going to do next. And all I do know how to do was what I was doing. And so I had this knack in my mind for storytelling. I had this knack for journalism world, had this knack and didn't even know it, Tim. I mean, I just didn't have a desire. And I went to a counselor, which I would tell anyone, if you're in this rut for a long period of time, going to counseling is not a bad thing, man.
Okay.
So I went to a counselor, and make a long story short, Tim, she said, "You ever thought about getting tested for ADHD?" And I said, "No, I think I'm good." And she said, "I see your track record, and I don't think you are good." And so, Tim, Tim, I'm thinking everything's fine, Tim. Like, what could be, you know? And so I tell her, I don't want to take that test, you know, thanks. I come home, tell my wife about it. So I'm going to take this test. Like, I'm already fired. Now I got to take a test, you know? And my wife goes, I think it's very important that you take the test. You know? And it was one of those kind of stories, Tim, was like, I think it's very important, as only a wife can do.
Yeah.
You better take this test. You know what I mean?
By the way, I can see the look right now. Actually,
Yeah, take the test. You know? And so, Tim, I take the test, man. And so I get to the counsel's office, comes back 71 out of 100. Man. Now, I'm thinking...
Wait, you passed or you failed?
Well, here we go, Tim. I'm thinking not so bad, right? You know, 71 out of 100, like, we're moving on up, you know? Well, no. The higher you get to 100, the worse it gets, Tim. I mean, it's not like the best it gets. I'm only 29 points away from failure, Tim.
Full on ADHD.
Full on ADHD zone here. And so I go, okay. And so, Tim, I walk out of her office. I do what she tells me to do. Man, I won't go into that story, but it was one of those things where the failure is the backstory that's gotten me to the 1,000+ interviews, 40-some, you know, productions now. That was and is the backstory. And so, Tim, 3 years ago comes up, and right now, media, I'm talking to one of their vice presidents who, bless this guy's heart, his name's David Stidham. David's no longer with them anymore, but David's just an incredible individual. And David saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, man. I mean, to be really fair with you. And I'm so thankful that he did. I wanted to be their connector, Tim. I was like, okay, I want to connect people. And David goes, we don't have a role for that. And I go, well, that's great. You know what I mean? So Tim, I'm thinking, you know what? See you guys later. He goes, but, you know, Maina, we do have a role for executive producer. And I said, Tim, do not, in fact, he didn't say that. He goes, we have a role for an EP. And now, Tim, I'm slow. So, you know, I remember thinking to myself, what the heck is an EP? Like, I have no idea what that is, Tim. And so I'm literally, Tim, going, he's going along, he's on an EP. And so finally, Tim, I take my phone and I go, and we're on a Zoom call, and I go, EP. Is the EP. And I go, okay, got it, EP, got it. And so I just go, oh, executive producer. Like, I know what he's talking about, which I really don't, Tim. I really defied this, you know. And so, to make a long story short, I was scheduled to have lunch with the former CFO, CEO, I think it's the CFO of Waffle House, Bert Thornton. And Bert and I are in this Waffle House, you know, booth here, as only Bert could do, which he's got to be on your show one day, too. You would love Bert, by the way. Bert,
I would love to have him on, absolutely.
Are both just great guests for you to have, Tim, by the way. And so I'm on this, you know, I'm in this booth with Bert, and I go, Bert, he goes, what are you working on, Maina? I go, well, somebody wants me to do a thing for Right Now Media, man. And he didn't really know what it was, so I explained it to him. And he goes, literally at the table, he goes, I'm in. And I go, in what? he goes, we can do it together, Maina. And I go, no, we can't. I've never done it before. And so, Tim, literally, Bert, and this is what I tell everyone, if you don't have people in your story who are cheering you on, I pray that you find that. Like, awesome. Look around for it. And so Bert goes, we're going to do it. So I go, Bert, what are we going to do this at? Like, I'm literally in this, like, Waffle House deal here as he's holding up. I wish I had a thing here. So he's holding up this bag of, like, Bert's Chilies. Bert's Chilies is named after him, by the way. And he's holding this thing up. And I'm going, where are we going to do this at? He goes, we're going to do it at restaurant store number da-da-da-da-da. And I go, okay. I go, where's that at? He goes, Pensacola, Florida. There's no one there, Maina, between 1 to 6. And I go, it's just I'm slow. I go, how do you know that? He goes, former CFO. I go, yeah, I got it. So I go, I guess that does translate, Bert, And so there I was, June of 2020. I guess it's 23 now, 22, 23. We rolled into the property, Waffle House in Pensacola, Florida, right off the highway there. And at first I thought, I made the biggest mistake of my life, Tim. I really did. Like, the place is crowded, man.
Oh, no.
And I am going, okay, we got all the equipment. And Bert told me 1 to 5, no one's there, man. And sure enough, man, people started exiting out, man. Then as 1 o'clock hit, Bert comes walking in, as only Bert can do, And he goes, you ready, Maina? And I am going, dude, I was about to call you and go, we have a problem. And the place clears out. Bert comes in, he does what he does best, and he leaves. But the truth of the matter, though, is, Tim, I look back and I go, David and Bert were the ones who were cheering me on, man. And it's been 49 projects since, man.
That's amazing.
Right Now Media. And I think about, if you don't have someone in your life who's cheering you on, I want you to be that person for someone else until it comes to you. Because sometimes that has to happen sometimes where, whatever you want to be, you got to be it first with somebody else. And then it will come to you, man.
What you mentioned here is this is something that I espouse pretty much everywhere I go. And that is, we are all mentors in some form or fashion.
Yes.
And we can either be actively mentoring somebody and purposefully doing that to the betterment of these individuals, or we can be passively mentoring them and not really care about the individuals who are around us and teach them something completely contrary to what they should be learning.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, bringing it back into my world, I think that's where CPAs, and I think we're getting better. Don't get me wrong. I think there's some new blood that's coming into these organizations, and they're kind of asking the right questions. They're kind of pushing the old guard to kind of see where we're coming from or where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And what I think is fascinating is that when you have that there's 1 or 2 people that are who are in the office, and they, for whatever reason, people always come back to them to ask them questions. Like, I just have advice, or just they have a few minutes. They just want to stop by your desk because there's something different about you that you always seem to have time for people. You never make people feel like they're pushing in on your schedule, and it's those individuals throughout your career that, I mean, I could probably name 5 individuals that. Four good mentors, and one who was such a great mentor, but in all the wrong ways. And, but taught me everything I never wanted to be in business. But I cherished those times that I was with him, because had I not been in that situation and seen what that does to people when you treat them in that manner, I wouldn't have a basis of comparison to go, oh, wait, but if you treat them this way, look how it changes their attitude. Look at it.
Yeah. And it's, right? So, dude, it always comes back in a boomerang effect. Like, we did a story this week of someone, Tim, and it's one of those things where I've known this guy a large portion of my life, and the stories that we are hearing don't add up to the person that I know. Yeah, I mean. And so I always tell people, faith will always reveal the real you, man.
Like money. Like money will too.
It does.
Yep.
It always reveals the real you.
If you were a jerk before money, when you get rich, you're just a rich jerk.
And it's not a funny thing, Jim. Have you noticed within certain companies, once the money is gone, it covers up a lot of stuff, dude.
Woo! When that tide pulls out, man, the only person around is that CPA going, what happened?
Yeah, it covers up who they really are. And God just has a way, Tim. And I like to tell people this, of just revealing who you really are.
Yeah.
And so I like to tell people this all the time. If you're impatient, be upfront with that, because it's going to come out anyway. Man.
Yeah.
And so I've just decided, you know what? I'm just going to be authentically me in Christ. It's just for me, from where I live as a believer. I'm not saying everybody has to, but just be you. Man.
Yeah. Do me a favor and reach over to your window and shut your blinds, because you're looking like a zebra, but you look fantastic.
I was like, all of a sudden, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're going to get a sunburn in like different places.
No, I'm being serious. I was like, this is kind of early. Usually that happens in the spring. Like,
you look fantastic. I want to get on this because you mentioned something, and I don't want it to just be passed over. You mentioned that there's something that happens when you're in Christ, and all of a sudden things come alive to you that before maybe weren't available to you, just because now you're seeing it through a completely different lens. And one of the things, there was a pastor that I had years ago, and he would talk about how it's very difficult for you to look down on people. He was talking about how Jesus washed feet. And it's like, why would you wash feet? Well, first of all, there was a tradition there. When a lot of these people, their sandals are dirty. You're coming into someone's home, and that's just something to make them feel like they're more cleaner coming in. It makes them feel better. But also, it's just the act of being down on your knees in front of somebody, washing their feet. If you need to talk to that individual, you have to speak up to this individual, right? The servant leadership, you're always looking up at an individual. And so it's very hard to talk down to somebody when you're constantly looking up. Yeah. And I'll never forget that, because because just the word picture that it formed in my head was, that's the reason why when I'm in the corporate setting, you always see, like let's say T-ball or soccer coaches or volleyball coaches. You have a little guy, and you want to tell him something, and you see that picture of the coach that's on one knee, right? You got the hand around the little guy, and it's like trying to impart some wisdom real quick. Okay, hey, I want you to really hold on to that bat. I want you to really feel that ball, right? And coaches do it all the time. They get down on the level of the player so that they can impart that wisdom. They can look into their eyes. I've seen that there's a difference when someone comes into a room and they want to have a conversation with one of their peers, and they take a knee and they have that conversation because the other person's sitting in their chair, right? They take a knee and they sit next to them, and like all of a sudden it's a teaching moment, it's a mentoring moment. It's something that it's very intimate, and I'm not talking about in a weird HR kind of way, but it's a very intimate thing where you are now on the level of. And by the way, they might not be in the hierarchy, the chart, the hierarchy chart. They may be much further down. Which who cares about that? The point is that, are you willing to take yourself and humble yourself to their level so that you can have an honest conversation, a teaching conversation, because nobody likes to be lorded over. And I think what you're bringing to the table here is it's all very good wisdom, and that when you're relating to people, I think the last thing you want to do is make it look like it's like you've got all this wisdom and it's all about you. The simple act of taking a knee next to somebody and having this conversation, it almost diffuses any type of other emotions that are going on, to where you are on their level, you're their peer. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, and Tim, I want to say this a step further. Of 1,000 leaders who I've interviewed, I do not think you get to the level, I can think of one or two of them maybe, I don't think you get to the level of being that person. So whether you're Robert Rosenberg at Dunkin' Donuts, or whether you're or Dave Katz at President of Coca-Cola, or or whether you're President Carter, who I've been around, they all have the same context to me, and the same theme is that they're kind, man. And kind does not mean pushover. That's not. I mean, I think sometimes we go, if you're kind, you're gonna be a pushover. No, I'm not. We're not paying people to be pushovers, but we are asking people to be kind, though. And you can be kind and competitive at the same time, Tim.
Absolutely, 100%.
And so I don't think kindness is equals weakness. No, kindness equals empathy, man. Kindness equals that you are humble enough to see people for who they are. That's kindness, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so it takes us all the way full circle back to what does make the bananas different. It's the other four-letter word. It's kind. It's kindness. It's people that have come from all walks of life, have been waiting forever to go see these people that they see on YouTube and in social media and all these things, and they finally get there. Expectations are super high, and we blow out their expectations with a wonderful show, but they also feel like they've been treated like no other person there. They were an audience of one for a night.
It happened from just one person organization. I've had the privilege, Tim, of being around several of your colleagues. It's weird. Before I got on here, I was thinking, who is the CEO of Savannah Banana? Like, I couldn't remember who it was, man. So I text a buddy of mine who actually texted me during this time here, and he goes, Jesse, Maina. And so it was kind of funny. I was in the airport. I told you this, Tim. I was in the airport recently, and I thought, I'm going to investigate him. Man. I just want to see, like, who is this guy? I mean, I'm a journalist at heart, so I'm ready to go, Tim.
Yeah.
Like, who is he? The people who came up to, man, and by the way, his flight was being canceled. He was trying to maneuver things around that day.
Okay.
It was a terrible day to fly on. And here he is talking to every individual that would come up to him. Tim, so it's not just that you see on the field, Savannah Banana, dude, or whether it's our buddy, Adam Brandt, man. I mean, I had to talk to that joker yesterday, and I'm going, he is just hilarious, but kind, man.
Yep.
And so it's one of those things where, if it's not flowing from on top, and someone's not working with an organization where it is flowing from on top, you still be it.
Yes.
I mean, and pray that it does either reverberate or that God opens another door. But
it's going to reverberate.
It is.
One of the conversations we had earlier was that the leadership doesn't always come from the top.
Right.
There are leaders among us who just there's something about them that resonates with the people in the room, with their interactions, with the words that they say, just their body language, whatever it is. There's something that attracts people to those individuals, and those individuals need to know that you may not have the title, you may not have the corner office, but you are an influencer in that office. And the other thing that they need to know is that because these people, whether they know it or not, they're imparting themselves into other people, right? And that can get very tiring, all right? And you don't really realize it, but you're like leaving a piece of yourself with all of these individuals. And so you gotta recharge. Very similar to what you said. You gotta recharge. But one of the things that you learn when you start recognizing, like, oh, I think there's something a little bit different about me. Great. It's good to have that recognition, but it's also one of the things where you say, but it's not about me. It's about them. And if it's continuously that you flip it around and have the perspective of somebody else, you almost can never go wrong.
You can never go wrong. And, Tim, as you said earlier, the light just shows up on the inside of you, like this thing here and so inside me on this window here. The light just shows up inside of you, man. And you can't hide that, man. I don't want to, wear that. So, yes, I'm sorry. I'm trying to dodge this light here.
Oh, you're doing a great job. Your shirt looks like it's like a new pattern. No, you're doing great. You're doing great. I noticed the kindness matters.
Yes,
thing
and
behind you.
I found that. Guess where I found that, by the way? In
Goodwill.
In Disney World.
Disney World. That makes sense.
Because guess who exhibits that more than most people do? Most companies do. Disney World does.
Yeah. Well, it's the happiest place on earth because people feel.
People feel it, though. I don't. It's kind of one of those things. I'm from Orlando, and so it's kind of one of those deals where I'm always laughing at it. But I will tell you, for their employees, who I used to know a lot of them, is that, man, that is a big deal around there. Right?
It is a big deal, and they wear it. They everybody out there, they hook, line, and sinker, man. They're in it because that's just that's what their company is all about. Is just while you're here inside the confines of my park, I'm going to make sure that you have the greatest time you've ever had. Just forget about whatever you had outside the park. Leave it out there. Enjoy your day, your week, and just be with us for 2 to 3 days.
They make
right?
sure of it. Yeah,
They do. So So we've had a very great conversation, and I want to try to wrap this thing up, but I don't want to leave without getting a little bit more wisdom. I'm going to squeeze you for some wisdom.
Oh, you're good.
You seem to handle yourself very well inside a multitude of different areas and venues and what have you. And you're obviously very well connected. And I say that as a term of endearment, not that you're not this is like a haughty thing to say.
Yes,
But
I want to go take over the world.
correct, yeah. But you really appreciate the people that are inside your network, and I've always felt that way when I talk to you. Is that this is a very genuine individual, and everything we do, every conversation we have is purposeful. And I feel like I always come away from our conversations with something that just like it added something to my life, right? And I'm curious, in where Maina is going in the future. I know you have the Right Now Media. I feel like you have a ministry that could be very effective in public speaking, or maybe not big stages, but maybe like black box type stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're in an intimate setting, or even one-on-one coaching. It seems like you do extremely well in those areas, and you're probably doing it already. Don't get me wrong. You're meeting with a ton of different people. But do you ever think that might be somewhere where you want to go?
You know what, Tim? It's weird. It's funny you asked this question. Last week I was in Orlando, where I was born and raised, and I don't know why I'm telling you this wild, crazy story, but I actually grew up in the Greek Orthodox Church.
Okay.
The Mwauras, in fact, arrived to America because of the Greek Orthodox Church. I know it's a wild story, which we'll get to.
All right.
And so I stopped by to visit my old former Greek Orthodox church. I was in Orlando. I don't know why I did this, Tim, but I had some extra time. I hadn't been in this one room of the church in 40 years, man. It's where my dad and I used to serve together, man. And then, Tim, that afternoon, I had to be when we left the Greek Orthodox Church, I was about 10 or 11, and we joined the Baptist Church, man. First Baptist Church of Orlando, there in Orlando.
Okay.
And Tim, it went from it was a whiplash day, because it was literally went to that place first, and then, whoa, here I am in Protestant Baptist world, man. And then, Tim, by the end of the day, we were doing production stuff, man. And I got to the hotel, and I was like, I am exhausted, man. We've done a lot of very different things. And I think because I am ADHD, I was not diagnosed. I was 41, by the way, so it was later in life, Tim. Which I do wonder what life would have been like if I had been diagnosed at a proper age. I do wonder,
heavily medicated.
Yeah, I don't know what happened around here, but I was 41, I was diagnosed.
You'd be an accountant.
I'd be an accountant. I probably wouldn't have, here I am, And so a lot of things that has happened to me in life, I've had to arrive late to the party, man. And so whether it is leaving one church with another one, or, my daughter loves making fun of me about this, Tim. I actually failed second grade. I don't think they fail kids any longer, Tim. But my daughter loves making fun of me and going, Mommy, he failed second grade. And I'm thinking, all right, thanks. I share that story. I'm endearment, and now you're. So whether it's that, Tim, or whether it is, getting fired in the middle of my, career path here. Yeah, Tim, there's just been a lot of failures, dude. I mean, I don't want to paint this picture of everything's been great around here. It has not. A lot of things have just not added up, man. What I've had to learn, though, is if you can lean in and be curious, man, and care about what other people care about too, man, I think God just does something with that. And so when I got called into ministry, Tim, it was through service, man. I mean, I was a high schooler, really I was a middle schooler. In middle school, I'm walking around going, and I had a great youth pastor named Ron Sylvia. I'm walking around middle school going, man, I want to be a youth pastor. And
cool.
I had one of the best youth pastors, man, in my mind, dude. And so I got into this wanting to help people. The ministry is different is coming across differently today, just because I'm, doing this now, Tim. But I got to tell you, something happens on the inside of me when someone sends me a letter and just happens to say, "Hey, I saw one of the video pieces that you did, and that really did something." Like, something happens on the inside of me that I can't really explain. Is that I really do want to see people win, and so do you, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to see people win, Tim. I really do believe that people's trajectories really can change, man, just like that, once they get it, man. And I don't care how many failures that you have had. And I do care. I should say I don't care. But I mean this in such a way that sometimes we get so wrapped into our failures, man, that we can oftentimes think, I just got to stay here the whole time, man. But Tim, we now know that the best entrepreneur shows up at what age? 45.
45.
We now know, Tim, that some of the best restaurants are started in their 40s and their 50s, man. And so I don't care where you're at in life. I don't care how many failures that you've had. I just really believe that if you're breathing, God is not through, man. I really do believe that. And I know in a world where things can be crushing when you fail. I mean, I don't know, I'm sharing a story, Tim, but I remember sitting on my boss's couch that day as he's saying, "It's over." I mean, Tim, I remember thinking, it cannot be over. And Tim, and I really thought, it's going to be the job's going to be with forever. But deep down, though, Tim, I knew that what I'm doing right now was out there. And so I got to say this, I'm thankful for the firing, because I had not gotten fired, I would be doing this. And so deep down, I knew there was something greater, man. And so if there's something greater inside of you, and there is, I'm telling you, I don't care what your history has been. God is putting all those things together, as hard as they may be, firings, or whether it's failure in second grade, or whether it's other stuff. And I'm joking about that. It is what it is. I just want to just reassure people that, well, in fact, Tim, when people come to me and say, "Maina, I want to be like fill in the blank," whoever I've interviewed, whether it's T.D. Jakes or Dr. Fauci or President Trump or whoever, or President Carter or whoever, I always go, "I got one question for you." And they'll go, "What's that?" I go, "Do you want to fail a lot?" I mean, and if their answer is no, I always go, "Then you don't want to be anything like that at all." Because the people who have gotten to the top, as we like to say, who are doing the greatest things, most of them have had lots of failures, man. And they've been burned, and they've been hurt, and their name has been stripped. And so whether we want to agree with it or not, so I like to tell folks, if you really want to be, at the top of the top here, you really want to be that influential person who you have in your mind, I want you to go study them, because you're going to more than likely find out that you may not want it, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a life of failure, typically, for most of them, man. And so...
That's good wisdom. That's good wisdom.
I hope that works, man.
No, it definitely works. I think that's something. I'm actually going to leave the conversation there, because that's something to chew on. Normally on this show, it's just like we're just placating and making people. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do that.
Yeah,
no, I think that negative wisdom is where we're gonna end it, because I have nothing else to go on top of that. But Maina Mwaura, executive producer at Right Now Media. For right now. Listen, I think you're wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on Business, Biceps, and BS. And,
it's been fun, dude.
If you've had some fun, tell your friends. I'd love to have Waffle House on.
Dude, I'm serious. You've got to get those two on.
I got to get them, man.
When you do the Waffle House one, I want you to do it in a Waffle House with him as he's showing you the Burt's Bees, not Burt's Bees, the Burt's chili. It's like,
chili. Yeah.
This is over.
Sounds good, buddy.
Which, by the way, once again, he made a chance there. I gotta say this real quick. He went to 3 different restaurants in the Dallas area to go make chili. Bert didn't really know how to make chili, by the way. That's another thing altogether, which I'll tell you.
That's why we call it Bert chili.
Secret. So he tried all 3 of them, Tim. And the one that stood out was the one that they went with, by the way.
There you go.
So
good stuff.
that's a little tidbit of Waffle House, man.
Well, hey, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. And I'm very excited to know you. I'm excited for your friendship. And I hope that Right Now Media just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I hope that that platform just keeps doing what I think God wants it to do, is to get out and give people that presence, that peace of mind, and then that wisdom that I think they're missing. So I'm hoping that it gets out, and next time you have you on, you're just this media juggernaut.
Tim, when I'm there in the studio, I wish I could have been there today, by the way.
Okay.
I'll show you my biceps.
Oh, there we go. That's where we're ending it. Maina Mwaura, I appreciate you, brother. We'll catch you on the flip side, baby. You got it.